Hammett and Chandler, tough guy private eye writers, and vintage hardcover reprints of their classic books. Hi, I'm Gary Lovisi, and this time we're going to take a look at some hard-boiled crime books, classics by Hammett and Chandler, that were reprints. These aren't the first editions, but they're first editions of these reprints by World Publishing Company and a couple of other publishers that what they did was basically made cheap reprints available. They're very nice books. Some of them are movie tie-ins with famous movie stars on the covers and also photos inside. They're from World Publishing and from Grosset and Dunlap. And there's one British, Hamish Hamilton, which is a second printing. But they have a lot of nice movie stills in them, and these were books that were published hardcover, nice dust jackets, and they were kind of cheap to buy, inexpensive. And a lot of people bought these, and now they're become collectible because the first edition, actual first editions in dust jacket, are really expensive and kind of hard to get. So these are kind of make a nice substitute, and they're special in their own way because they're different. So we're going to take a look at them now, go one by one. And first one we have is Dashiell Hammett. We're going to start with Adventures of Sam Spade. And it's a great book, great story. It's this was one of Dan Roberts' books. It was one in his collection. And the only thing with these books is that they it's the World Publishing Company, Cleveland and New York. They specialized in doing Tower books, Forum movie editions, and World editions. They were all like inexpensive reprints. This is the first printing from 1945 of the Tower Books edition, and it has 7 classic stories of Sam Spade, Dashiell Hammett's Hardboiled, Private Eye. 3 of the stories are Sam Spade, 4 are others, and of course Sam Spade is the private eye that was in the Maltese Falcon. And here's the books they have of the Tower books in this series, and they were all pretty nice books. The only thing with them is the trouble is that they were printed on cheap pulp paper, so the paper on all of them gets browned with age. I mean, this is from 1945, so it's 75 years old, this book. Next one is The Glass Key, Dashiell Hammett again, and it's great movie edition, Grosset and Dunlap, and it has the stars of the film, Brian Donlevy, Veronica Lake, and Alan Ladd. Veronica Lake, very femme fatale-ish in her look from those days. It's The Glass Key. It doesn't have a date. It's probably came out just slightly before or during the movie. And it's a novel. It's a great novel about big city corruption. If you've seen the movie, you'll know. Has an ad here for the Thin Man. And back cover has other Madison Square books by Grosset and Dunlap, and a lot of them are movie tie-ins, all mystery crime classics. Next one is another Dashiell Hammett, The Dane Curse, and this is a facsimile dust jacket on this one. This is a Grosset and Dunlap. There's no date on the Grosset and Dunlaps. And it's a nice book. this is a facsimile dust jacket, and it says up here, Facsimile Dust Jacket LLC. And the back cover for ads for other books. Those are the 3 Hammets that I have, reprints, and then we're going to look at some Raymond Chandler. This one is Tower Mystery, number 391, Spanish Blood. And what they did was they published a bunch of Chandler books, collections of short stories from the pulps, from Black Mask and from Dime Detective and other pulp magazines. And this was Spanish Blood, a collection of short stories by Raymond Chandler. This is from 1946, the first Tower printing. And Spanish Blood, The King in Yellow, Pearls Are a Nuisance, Nevada Gas, Trouble Is My Business, classic Chandler. And sad to say that the paper on these does age because it wasn't quality paper. And on the back they had ads for other Tower books, and they also had other famous writers, Pearl Buck, Ellery Queen, and other Chandler and Hammett books that they reprinted. Next one is interesting. It's Hamish Hamilton. It's British. It's the little sister, and this is a British edition. 7 shillings 6 pence, and this is a second. This is a nice copy, nicer paper, and it is from 1949. And I love to see with pages like this, beautiful white pages, beautiful book. And there's ads for other books that they published by Chandler, and some comments by people about this book, The Little Sister. Next one is Red Wind, Raymond Chandler again, Black Mask and Dime Detective stories. Really nice book, not so aged. Collection of short stories, World Publishing Company. This is Tower Books edition from 1946. And it has Red Wind, Blackmailers Don't Shoot, I'll Be Waiting, Goldfish, and Guns at Cyrano's. All classic hard-boiled crime short stories that appeared in the pulps by Chandler. Great stuff. Another advertisement for Tower books, other books in the series, and other books in the series here that Tower Books published, the reprinting. They were a reprint house, so they took books that were popular, hard-boiled crime, and they reprinted them. This is.
Can I ask you something? I know Chandler and Hammett are collected by people because they're about the same kind of writer, right?
Right.
Were they friends, or is it the same era? Did they know each other? Do you know?
Hammett was earlier than Chandler. Hammett was actually a Pinkerton detective, and he was basically writing the Continental Op stories about an operative who was a detective for the Continental Detective Agency. That's the first stories that he wrote, and then later on he wrote stories of Sam Spade, his detective. And those stories appeared in the 20s and the 30s in Black Mask and other magazines. And the thing with Hammett was he was a Pinkerton, and he was involved in a lot of Pinkerton activities. For instance, he was involved in some strike breaking and fighting that went on. What happened was in the early part of the 20th century, a lot of businesses, factories, mines, things like that, were unionizing, and the management in these companies did not want unions, so they fought the organizers of the unions. And what happened was they brought in the Pinkertons, and the Pinkertons fought the union guys. And this is even like you see like stuff with like Jimmy Hoffa. Hoffa started the Teamsters Union, and he had to fight Pinkerton thugs and goons sometimes. Now I don't know what Hammett was involved in, but when he was younger, he was certainly a Pinkerton agent, so he knew about like what went on, and he understood the very intimately the what went on with crime, criminals, murder, all the chicanery that a detective had to deal with, and he put that into his stories, and that's why they rang so true, and they're like amazing, because he was writing from actual experience. The thing is with the factories and the mines and stuff that brought in the Pinkertons, mine owners, and that brought in the Pinkertons to break up the strikes. Eventually, what happened was the unions had to look for some help from somewhere to fight off these the Pinkerton and the strike breakers. So what happens? They turned to the mafia, and this is how the mafia got kind of involved with some of the unions. So there was a lot of give and take, back and forth, a lot of pressure, a lot of stress, but in that kind of cauldron of violence and fighting and stuff, that's where Hammett came out of that, and he had the genuine understanding of what was going on about crime, and he had a respect for working people. You know that later on he became much more on the side of working people, and understood that people needed a chance, they just needed a break, and he was a good man, and he was fought in World War II. He was in the Aleutian Islands. He was a reporter and editor of a newspaper in the Aleutian Islands in the United States Army during World War II. So he was a guy that was out there and involved in a lot of things that made him a great writer. Chandler came a little bit later. He was a little bit different. Chandler was English originally. Came over from England, worked in the oil fields, became a businessman in the oil business, and then started writing kind of late in life, in his 40s, I think. And he wanted to change the mystery story, the crime murder mystery story, into something that really made it something better, something special. And he had a lyrical, almost poetic way of writing, where Hammett was like kind of tough and right to the point, and no hold barred about his honesty. Chandler was much more kind of a little more elegant, a little more very hard boiled, but at the same time very literary, and his works were they were very different, but they were very much the same in a lot of ways. And it's kind of funny because like Humphrey Bogart played Marlowe, which was Chandler's detective, and Sam Spade, which was Hammett's detective. I mean, they had the same guy. Bogart played both characters in the movies, and a lot of these books that I'm showing you here are the movie editions, and I'll show you some others that it's kind of interesting. So we'll take a look at another one here. Another Raymond Chandler is The Lady in the Lake, and this was Robert Montgomery was Marlowe. Robert Montgomery, by the way, was the father of Elizabeth Montgomery, the witch, on the TV show Bewitched. Her father was a hard-boiled noir actor in the 40s and 50s, and this also had Audrey Toller and Lloyd Nolan. and Lady in the Lake. It's interesting, nice book. Has pictures of the stars. Audrey Toller, Robert Montgomery. Talks a little bit about the story. Grosset and Dunlap. This is a reprint. No date. Probably from the 40s or whenever the movie came out. The back cover also has Lloyd Nolan and other people in the cast. And another photo from the movie. And it's interesting that the screenplay for this was by Steve Fisher, who's another great hard-boiled crime writer. And so he did a screenplay for this Chandler movie. Next one is, this is the big one, The Big Sleep. Humphrey Bogart, Lauren Bacall. This was a motion picture edition from Forum Books, which was another kind of imprint of Tower Books and World Publishing Company. It's nice inside. Front cover of the book has scenes from the movie. Really nice.
That'd be a good dust jacket.
Is what?
That'd be a good dust jacket.
That would be a good dust jacket, yeah. But and
on one side.
Here's a photo of Lauren Bacall. Beautiful, beautiful Lauren Bacall. She was quite young when she made this movie. I think this was one of the early movies that she made with Bogart, and they were married anyway at some point. This is from 1946, first printing. But of course, it's not the first printing is Alfred A. Knopf book, which it tells you. It's so this is the reprint of the Knopf first edition. If you get the Knopf first edition of The Big Sleep, it's going to cost you a lot of money if you can find it, and if you can find it, you won't even find it with a dust jacket. But so it's nice to have this World edition. They use the same photos on the back inside cover and end paper. And more books into movies. They're listing here. And the back cover, Big Sleep, some scenes from the Warner Brothers film. And again, Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall. Very cool book. Movie tie-in edition. Very nice. Next one is Farewell, My Lovely, which is a Tower book, World Publishing Company. And this is based on the RKO film with Dick Powell. And Dick Powell was an actor who also played in the Thin Man movies, which were based on Hammett's novel, The Thin Man, which unfortunately I don't have, that one. But Farewell, My Lovely, or Murder, My Sweet, was the movie made by RKO with Dick Powell. Also Claire Trevor and Shirley. And it's a nice edition, nice movie edition. And again you see like the age of the pages. This is the third printing from 1946. Farewell, My Lovely. Made into a movie. And back cover shows some more scenes from the movie. And the last one is the Brasher Doubloon, which is this is the first edition under this title. This was The High Window by Raymond Chandler, and it was retitled in the movie as The Brasher Doubloon, and it starred George Montgomery again and Nancy Guild. And it's Philip Marlowe, private eye novel. Another nice old copy. And they have it, The High Window, inside, because that's actually the title, correct title. And this is from 1945. So this is the first edition under this title, under the movie title. It's a movie tie-in. Again, pages, 75-year-old books. And this is cheap pulp paper. And here they have World Motion Picture Editions, an ad for other books in the World Publishing Company series that they published, other movies. And here's more scenes from the Brasher Doubloon 20th Century Fox with George Montgomery, Nancy Guild, scenes from the movie. Nice edition. And there you have it. Some not rare books, but they're getting increasingly difficult to find. They are collectible. People like these books. They have different dust jackets, of course, than the original first editions, which are really beyond the scope of most collectors as far as getting those first editions from the 30s and 40s. But having some of these from the 40s is kind of nice, and having the movie editions with the photo covers of the stars that were in these movies is kind of a nice thing to have. It's a nice memory about these movies, because these movies are all pretty cool, pretty good. If you like hard-boiled crime and private eye fiction, you'll love all of these books, and you'll love the movies that were made from them. So I hope you enjoy this look at Hammett and Chandler hardcover reprints. And if you did, give us a thumbs up and a like, subscribe, tell your friends and everybody about this. We're on BitChute and we're on YouTube, and there's always some new things that we're doing that hope that will tickle your fancy. And give us a like, and thanks for looking. See you next time.